For a year now, I've been campaigning with the belief that I have the right message at the right time on the right issues to bring balance and much needed debate to Beacon Hill. I'm ready to take that message to Beacon Hill on behalf of this community, and that we are ready to win this race. So just a little bit about me. I grew up in the Midwest. I was the oldest of 4 kids. Had a good career on the high school football team that gets a little bit better as I get older. Went to college at a school very similar to Endicott. I'm married to Kelly, and on Christmas Eve at Beverly Hospital, we became the parents of Tegan and Elliot, our twin daughters. My family lives up in Centerville on Essex Street, and I'm very proud to say that Beverly is our home. After finishing business school, my career brought me to Beverly, and we found in this place a community that was very similar to what we experienced growing up. And we decided that this was the right place to put down roots and raise our family. In fact, I told my employer that I would leave the company before I left Beverly. Kelly, my girls, and I are fully invested in the future of this community and happy to be so. As I became involved in the community and in our schools, I began paying attention to what was going on in our state legislature. And I didn't like at all what I saw. What I saw was a state legislature that was failing on several fronts, failing the people it was elected to serve. So I did what I thought any reasonable person would do. I asked my wife if I could turn our life upside down. I put a career with one of the most respected companies in the world on hold so I could try to earn a spot in a group of people that has a slightly less respected reputation, because I think it's the right time to stand up and fight back. Every candidate has a personal story to tell about why they're running or what the community means to them. And maybe my opponent has lived in this community longer than I have. But the thing about elections is that they are about issues and finding the person that is willing to take action and get things done. So let's talk about the issues. The first thing is that I will not vote to raise your taxes, period. I've taken the taxpayer protection pledge, I've signed my name to that promise, and I'm the only candidate in the race who will do it. I'm committed to working for real budget reform. From the way we build the budget, the amount we spend, to the accountability that the legislators have for putting it together. I'm the only candidate in the race who has presented a real solution to helping tackle the budget issues we face on Beacon Hill. Recently, I announced the outline of the Balance Act, the first piece of legislation that I'll file on Beacon Hill. It will create accountability for legislators, transparency and debate on where we prioritize spending your tax dollars. And it will promote sustainability for the budget through spending growth limits, so we can weather good economic times and bad without seeing the mid-year cuts that we've seen in recent years. I'll work to remove and reduce the barriers that business face as they try to grow and create jobs. Last week I was endorsed by the state's small business community because they recognize that with a business background, both in education and in work experience, I'm the candidate who best understands their needs and will get them the help they need to help get people back to work. Unlike my opponent, I believe that the key to our recovery is for Beacon Hill to create a landscape that allows all businesses to thrive and compete and win against their competition. I'm not in favor of dumping taxpayer money into subsidies for companies that have not proven that they can succeed and have only proven that they can create a sweetheart deal on Beacon Hill. On Beacon Hill, I'll challenge the nationalization of our state's education system. We'll work to remove the politics and return independent oversight to our state's Board of Education. I believe that Massachusetts should control its own destiny when it comes to setting the standards that we hold our kids and our educators to. And those standards should lead the world, not the other way around. History has shown us that independent oversight and those high standards make that happen here in Massachusetts, and I will fight for those things on Beacon Hill. As Beverly State Representative, I'll be ethical and accountable. No longer can ethics and honorable service be a punchline for our radio talk hosts and our newspaper columnists. I'm the only candidate who has pledged to provide full written explanations of the votes that he takes on Beacon Hill and have provided transparency on the conditions of my outside endorsements. I've pledged not to participate in the state's pension system, and I'll hold myself to a self-imposed term limit, so there's no chance that I'll overstay my welcome on Beacon Hill. I will increase the frequency and duration of district office hours here in Beverly, because I don't ever want there to be the sense that I've gotten sucked in to the Beacon Hill machine. And finally, I'm going to put Beverly's needs first. Unlike my opponent, I will never need permission from my party leadership to put this community first when I vote. That means taking a stand on real cost-saving reform on the #1 issue that we face in our budget at the municipal level. It means fighting to preserve local aid and honoring the will of voters on all of the ballot questions this November. It's also the reason why the first choices for committee assignments will be transportation, to ensure that the policies of the state meet Beverly's critical existing and emerging needs in this important area. And higher education, to ensure that the policies of the state allow Montserrat, Endicott, North Shore Community College, Salem State, and Gordon College to reach their potential as economic, educational, and artistic partners that build our community and grow our economy and improve our quality of life. For the first time in a long time, Beverly has a real choice in how it's represented at the State House. It's a choice between continuing to go along and assuming that nothing can get better, or choosing to bring the debate to Beacon Hill on where we can and must improve as a state on issues that have been ignored for far too long. Since the beginning of the race, I have been the candidate that has been willing to force the debate and has been the first to propose aggressive solutions to deal with the problems. I was not afraid to stand up to the incumbent in this race. I was the only candidate in this race who was willing to challenge the way things were going on Beacon Hill. I won't be afraid to stand up and fight against the things that are happening there that are negatively impacting this community, because I believe that this community deserves no less. I want to thank all of you again for being here tonight. The people in this room are the people that have been there from the beginning. Since last September, when we were announced we were going to run. Last November, when we formally kicked it off at the Beverly Golf and Tennis Club. And I fully expect that I will see all of you here making the phone calls and standing outside holding the signs, telling your friends and family that this is the time, and that this is the year that there is a candidate who is going to represent real reform and who is going to take a message of real reform to Beacon Hill. I'm also going to carry that message that the people of Beverly don't want new taxes. Our current state representative in 2003 told the Boston Globe that the people of Beverly don't want new taxes. It's been 8 years, and that message has not been delivered, and I'm going to deliver it to Beacon Hill. I look forward to the debate ahead with my opponent. I look forward to giving Beverly their first opportunity to elect someone who will take a new voice and who will bring balance back to our state legislature. My name is Schetzsle. I'm running for state representative here in Beverly, and I'm asking for your vote on November 2nd.